All right, guys, so in this video here, what I want to talk about is how to do the injector balance test. And this test is a very important one because, again, so many cars these days have their injectors under the manifold, or at least have half of them under the well, actually all of them under the manifold, like my two Buicks. Here's a Buick LaCrosse, year model 2017. And it's getting increasingly, harder to diagnose these fuel injectors. So this test is a good one. So that way it'll cut down on labor, it'll cut down on time. And also, if you saw one of my previous videos, I showed you how to back probe the PCM to check the injector waveform. You should see that video up in the top right corner of this screen. So with that said, I went on all data, and here's the official way that GM says to check the injectors. Now, there's a couple of pre-tests you need to do before you check the injectors based on GM's method. And this is built right into the system how you do it. But however, I'm using the XTOOL IP616. And although it does not have bidirectional capabilities, you still can execute this test properly. Let me show you. So up on the screen now, you should see the diagnostic instructions on how to do this test. And if you go to, let's go down here to circuit system testing, it will say with the ignition on, command the fuel pump on, and verify the fuel pressure sensor parameter is between 320 to 580 kilopascals or 46 to 84 psi. Now, since this does not have bidirectional control, so you can't command the fuel pump on, well, you can just cut the car on, and that turns the pump on, and you can go into the Scantool and monitor it. And that's what we're going to do. So I already have the car running. We're going to go to auto scan. All right. And then once this goes into, okay, that's good. Hit OK. And we go to system selection. Let's go to, let's see, is it here or is it inside of, yeah, it's inside of engine control module, 3.6 automatic. And let's go to live data. And here we want to go to fuel system data, high pressure. So we go here. And I'll let that load. Okay, so we scroll down here. We will see that our fuel pressure sensor right now is reading about 40, in the neighborhood of 43. And it's supposed to be 40, let's see what it says, 46 to 84. I believe that the car just takes time to build up pressure because this pretty much is a cold start. If not, I'll take a look at that later on, but that's besides the point here. So the point here is that once you check the pressure, let's just assume this is pressure is fine. You stop the fuel pump, which you can't command it off because it's not bidirectional. Then you just make sure that you don't lose no more than 5 psi within 1 minute. So we cut the car off. Now watch this. If we still watch number 11, the fuel pressure sensor, we cut the car off. You'll see that the pressure steadily increases. So what this is telling me is that we're not going to have a 5 psi drop within a minute. And I know this test ain't necessarily the official way to do it, but it's like some indication that you have to go by. And again, you see how the fuel pressure sensor now is around 50 or so. So that's the first parameter, to make sure that the fuel pressure sensor is reading between 46 and 84 psi, and that when you command the fuel pump off, in this case we can't command it off, we just turn the call, that you don't see a 5 psi drop within 1 minute, and we don't see that. And again, please let me know in the comments if you think this is a valid way to do this. This is just a quick and dirty way to do it, and it should be some indication. So the next part you want to go to is that, let's back out of here. Hold on, let's cut the car back on. The next part, while the engine is idling, verify that the fuel rail pressure sensor, which is the fuel rail pressure sensor, is reading between 276 to 725 psi. And if you look at number 12, that's reading about 580, and that is perfect. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and check this one, check 11 and 12, and hit custom, and now we're going to hit graph, and we're just going to take a quick graph at these. We can combine them as well and put them on the same graph, and we can see that we have a steady pressure. There's no real pressure drop or any like dips up and down. What can we assume from this? Probably that pressure is holding consistent and everything is okay within the system. Again, there's nothing wrong with this car. This is just for demonstration on how to do the injector balance test. All right, so now let's exit out of here. Let's go back. All right, so now we go back to the home screen and we go into special functions. All right, you go to power balance. We go to GM, in this case GM. This is a 2017 Buick LaCrosse. Okay. The control module 3.6. This is going to be automatic. And because this is a power balance test, let's go to actuation test, fuel system. You could do a cylinder balance test or a fuel injector, so you can kind of drop out a cylinder to see if a cylinder is an issue as well within this same special function, which I think is pretty good. So we go to fuel injector balance. Everything is checked here. All right, so now we got to hit view data stream. That way we can see all the units. And now what you're supposed to do is drop the pressure in each injector. All right, so we start with injector 1. If you hit it, it'll take the pressure out. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you how much fuel pressure is dropped. So that's 54. Cylinder 2, we had about a 60 drop. Cylinder 3, about a 54 drop. Cylinder 4, about a 60 drop. Cylinder 5. Oh, wait a minute. I think if you do it too fast, it may not take it. Cylinder 5 had a 54 drop. I guess the cylinder 6 is going to have around a 60 drop because maybe these fuel rails are different. Let's see. 61, well, 55, 56. So maybe that makes sense because maybe I don't know which side that the fuel is coming in on. Maybe it's coming in on fuel rail 2. I think that's where it's coming in on it. And, you know, maybe the pressure is a little bit higher on that side. So now what you're supposed to do is a little math. Let's just say you thought one of these were bad. You would average all the other ones, and then you would do 20% of that number to see what would be the range. So let's go ahead and do that. And after this, I'm gonna show you just a quick and dirty way you can get an estimation without using a calculator. Let's say you're in the middle of a call. So let me show you how to do this right quick. So if I pull out my calculator, let me turn on record screen really quick. Okay. All right, so let's just say if we pick the top one that is out, so we're going to just use these other numbers. We're just going to take the whole number, which is 60 plus 54 plus 60 plus 52 plus 56 equals, divided by 5 equal. So that is, we'll just say 58. Now, if we take 20% of 58, so multiply that times 0.2. So that means that it's 58 plus or minus 12. 58 plus or minus 12 would be 46 to 70 psi, and we see that every single one of these is within that range. Now, if you want to know a very quick and dirty way to do this without using a calculator, what you could do is, let me stop the screen here from recording really quick here. What you could do is this. Take the middle number, which is, if you think about it, let's just say the 54 number. Divide that number in half, which that'll be 27. All right. Now that's 27. Now divide 27. Now do that again. Now divide 27 in half. You're going to get around 13 to 14 psi. So that means that if you take 54 minus plus or minus 13, that's going to be 41 to about 67. Again, it's just a rough estimate, basically to say if you have anything that's greater than 13 psi, you would know that that injector like this bad. Just, and sometimes it's going to be obvious. Just say if you just look at it and it's like 25 psi, okay, well, you don't even have to do any math in that case. But again, that's just a quick and dirty way. Again, just take the middle number, divide it by 2. In this case, 54. That'll be 27. Then divide 27 by 2. That's 13. Let's say 14. Rounded up, 14 psi. And then let's do 54 minus plus or minus 14. And then again, that'll be 40 to 68. That would be a good rough estimate of what the PSI range should be. I hope you guys like the IP616. This scan tool is great. I absolutely enjoy it. By the way, I'd like to give a shout out to 737 Mechanic. He gave me the idea for this video. He actually has a video on the same test he just posted a few days ago. But the only reason why I followed up with this video was because this is the IP616 and it does not have bidirectional controls to command the fuel pump off. But however, you can kind of get around that by cutting the car on and off. And that while that may not be exactly precise, it definitely, I would think in my mind, give you a good indication if you got any fuel pressure issues with your fuel pump. So you guys take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.